Hi, my name is Beer, and let's start with Atomfall. The studio behind legendary Sniper Elite and Aliens vs Predator games decided to develop a survival action game inspired by real-life events. Atomfall is set 5 years after the Windscale nuclear disaster in northern England. Yeah, like most of us, I have never heard of it. So, long story short, in 1957 one of the nuclear reactors of Windscale site, that wasn't a power plant but a part of the British atomic bomb project, and produced weapons-grade plutonium, caught fire. So in the aftermath, a huge chunk of the country was affected by radiation and around 200 unlucky people died of cancer. So that's the real story. In the game you will explore the fictional quarantine zone around the aforementioned Windscale. You will scavenge, craft, barter, fight and talk your way through a British countryside filled with bizarre characters, mysticism, cults and rogue government agencies. People are saying that this is S.T.A.L.K.E.R, Fallout, Bioshock and Brain 1. Sounds good to me. Terminator Resistance. This is a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter set during the future war scenario that was only glimpsed in the first two iconic Terminator movies. We all know that the machines are destined to lose, but at what cost? So basically here you will fight evil robots who have only one thing in their minds:
destroy all the humans.
and that is a bit, not cool for you, so you will try to make their job complicated. So here you will level up your skills and explore a post-apocalyptic world for scraps to trade and craft, also interact with other survivors and change their fates. Also you can be involved in pretty much serious romance with all the visuals, so probably don't play it with your daughter watching behind you. People on Steam are saying that this is the real Terminator 3, as it should have been. It contains an amazing atmosphere, also interesting story and developed characters. The gameplay is captivating as well. You can run and gun or sneak and hack through Skynet's defenses. So there are a lot of ways to show this rogue ChatGPT who the real boss is. And it's you, my friend. It's you, you are the best. Now subscribe. Rage 2. Although the first Rage game is loved more by the fans, the second part kinda changes linear gameplay design to a fully open world game. Here you'll dive headfirst into a dystopian world devoid of society, law and order. An asteroid has annihilated 80% of Earth's population, and humanity numbers are dwindling. Ruthless and bloodthirsty gangs roam the open roads and the tyrannical authorities seek to rule with an iron fist. And you are the last ranger of the wasteland and a threat to their power. So you have been robbed of your home and left for dead. Those are not the actions you take kindly and say thank you for. So now you have to kill them all, and only then your heart can rest in peace. The game is filled with ludicrous vehicle combat, super-powered first-person mayhem and an open world full of emergent madness. The game sadly is ridden with bugs, and some of them can ruin even the main missions of the game. So you may be stuck for good even after investing tons of hours in it. Believe me, I have read the comments of people who played it and they are not forgiving at all. Despite that, for some the game runs flawlessly, so it's a lottery you may want to play, or just play the first part. It's really good. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. Heart of the Chornobyl. Here you'll dive into the zone, a specific place around the area where Chornobyl power plant exploded one beautiful day. You probably saw the HBO series already that was filmed in my hometown of Vilnius, Lithuania. If not, do it. Jared Harris and Stellan Skarsgård were wonderful, and the series will perfectly immerse you into a cruel and deadly Soviet bureaucracy. Anyway, the zone around the power plant is deadly as well, and only the madman could go there and search for artifacts from another dimension in hopes of getting rich. You are that madman. Everyone calls you a stalker, but you are not alone. The whole community of people like you are scavenging these forsaken lands. Some are friendly, some are not. That's why you have an arsenal of various weapons. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but my advice would be shoot first, apologize later. You have no friends there. The scariest thing, of course, are not other scavengers, militia of every sort, or even anomalies, but creepy mutants. Oh man, I played the original games when I was a teenager and I was a bit traumatized by some of them, especially by that invisible shithead in the sewers. And he's back again. A bit too often, to be honest. After you kill it for like the 5th time, it's not scary anymore. But there are scarier things lurking in the depths of abandoned military facilities, and they will gladly meet you and eat you, or worse. Anyway, in a broader sense, S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is not a horror game, but it often has strong horror episodes and a menacing atmosphere as well. Not as menacing as your ex-mother-in-law, but still really terrifying. And also, it is a beautiful game, and the visuals are fantastic. Far Cry New Dawn. Far Cry games have always been colorful, but this is an absolutely next level of an airy-fairy unicorn carnage. They call it vibrant, I call it eye-melting. Despite that, Far Cry New Dawn is a decent game. Here you will dive into a post-apocalyptic Montana, 17 years after a global nuclear catastrophe. You will join fellow survivors and lead the fight against the dangerous new mob and their ruthless leaders, as they seek to take over the last remaining resources. And you are not in a mood to give your potato salad to anyone. You are more fond of bloodshed and carnage, and this is what you will do here. If you have a friend or loving mother-in-law, you can play this game together in co-op mode as well. Moss War Logs. This is an absolute hidden gem I have stumbled on by lucky accident. The price and quality ratio of Moss War Logs is beyond fantastic. The game, as people say, is a hybrid between Fallout, Mad Max and the Technomancer. Well, the latter was made by the same company and is set in the same game universe, so no surprises here. Anyway, it takes you to Mars, nearly a century after the cataclysm that drowned the planet and its colonists into chaos. And speaking about drowning, water has become the most precious resource on the planet, with a few companies fighting a perpetual war for its control. Well, honestly, I think that water is not what made the desert planet of Mars famous in the first place. Anyway, you play as Roy, a renegade with multiple talents. You will develop your character and your combat style by choosing among many skills and perks. Melee, ranged combat, stealth, or the devastating Technomant power. You know, you're some kind of lizard, Harry. I mean Roy. So if you like this game, try the Technomancer as well. And don't pay much attention to the mostly positive or even mixed score it sometimes falls to. It's Eurojang, but it's nice. The Outer Worlds. Somehow I always think that this game gets too little attention. It is definitely one of the best RPG games I have played in recent years. It is funny, it has secrets, many guns and places to explore. It's not just Fallout in space. I had more fun playing The Outer Worlds than I had playing Fallout 4. Even if this is a bit smaller game, I can absolutely give it 9 cold beers out of 10 and recommend it to you without a doubt. But I have to mention that it has some cons as well, like unbalanced difficulty. You know, at first you die a lot, but later everything else dies in seconds, even the strongest monsters. Then you may think,
Hey, I will switch from hard to the hardest difficulty.
but you can't. You have to play the whole game on this hardest difficulty without switching it off, because developers decided to add some stupid achievements most of the players don't even care about. So you will feel overpowered all the time and you can't do anything about that. That's why I didn't buy and didn't play the last DLC. I already feel like a combat god, everything just dies when I blink. Mad Max. This is without a doubt one of the best open world games on Steam. More than 90% of positive reviews are here for a reason. You will play as a lone warrior in a savage post-apocalyptic world where cars are the most important thing, the very key to survival. Anyway, in Mad Max you will find an action-packed open world where you must fight against vicious gangs of bandits to stay alive in the wasteland. You want nothing more than to leave the madness behind and find solace in the mythical Plains of Silence. Along the way in your search, you are challenged with treacherous missions as you scavenge the dangerous landscape for supplies to build the ultimate combat vehicle of your dreams. Cyberpunk 2077. Finally, Cyberpunk 2077 has become a great game. Recent reviews on Steam are always above 90%, and the main score climbed to the very positive tier. After many years in mixed and later in mostly positive category, this is an achievement of really hard work and dedication. CD Projekt Red, by releasing an undercooked game, has made probably the biggest mistake of their lives, but they are slowly climbing up, although the stock value of the company is still in ruins. After the flop of the game, CD Projekt Red lost about a third of company's value, and so far nothing has changed despite the amazing comeback of Cyberpunk. And the game itself is a wet dream of anyone who likes single-player RPG games, but it also has some really annoying flaws as well. Despite being set in a GTA-like world, here you cannot fly. That is sad. Anyway, the campaign is more than awesome. 11 cold beers out of 10. Elex 1 and 2. Alright, so Elex and Elex.2 are made by the same people who created Gothic games, and if you are an old-school gamer, this information should spark real interest into your heart. It is set in a post-apocalyptic science fantasy universe full of original characters, deep moral choices, and dinosaurs. Yeah, you can be slain by a penisoraptor here. Well, they may be called differently in-game, but anyone who slays you is a total dick, that's for sure. Also, here you'll have a jetpack, and that is amazing because you can explore not only horizontally but also erect yourself vertically and find some nice treasures hidden high up the hills. The novelty which distinguishes Elex from the first game the most is an entire system of aerial combat, with all its benefits, including enemies with an improved AI. Both games have mostly positive reviews on Steam and kinda similar scores on Metacritic, so I don't recommend buying them for the full price. Wait for a sale and then snatch them both. The discount value varies from 50 to 75%, and there is no better channel covering sales than this one. Days Gone. This is an open-world action-adventure game set in a harsh wilderness 2 years after a devastating global pandemic, which made a lot of zombies out of unlucky humans. Here you will take control of a bounty hunter trying to find a reason to live in a land surrounded by death. You will scavenge through abandoned settlements for equipment to craft valuable items and weapons, or take your chances with other survivors. Days Gone has very positive reviews on Steam, so if you like zombies, give it a try. Although, have you ever imagined that somewhere in the universe there's probably a planet of zombies and they are creating horror games about becoming human? And honestly, we actually are pretty terrifying. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition. This version with upgraded graphics was released 7 years ago, and it still has about 25,000 players in-game simultaneously at all times. By player count on Steam it holds 46 plays among all the games. That shows how huge and popular this game is. There is no doubt that Skyrim is a masterpiece of open-world games, and in my opinion it was decrowned from the throne of the best game in the field only by the third Witcher. By now it is of course a bit outdated, but it still lets you dive into a huge fantasy world and explore incredible places. Skyrim is single player only. There is no bullshit of other players invading your game like in Elden Ring, no other gamers walking around like in Diablo 4 when you just try to accomplish single player campaign. Here you are alone, and everything is done for your personal pleasure. You can become a warrior, mage, assassin, or drug addict. You know, it's up to you. Skyrim is like a great book where you are the main protagonist. Superhero to be fair, but the lore is super deep. Stories, especially for guild quests, are great, and if you never played it, just do it. Generation Zero. It may not be the best game on this list. It holds only a mostly positive review score on Steam, but the setting and the atmosphere of the game is really worthy of your attention. Honestly, the game was really hyped upon a release, and when people didn't get a masterpiece, bad reviews started to flow. That is a story of many games, and Generation Zero definitely doesn't deserve that, because it may not be a masterpiece, but it's not a bad game as well. Here you will explore alternative Sweden in 1989. One day Swedes woke up early in the morning and saw that their beloved Sverige is overrun by evil robots. Where did they came from, who made them, nobody knows. Probably evil Norwegians who were envious of Swedish reindeer herds. Everyone knows that casual Swedish deer produces 7 times the amount of milk than Norwegian deer does. Even the males. That is the fact, trust me, every Swede in the comments can confirm that. Bioshock Infinite. As the first 2 parts, this is an immersive first-person shooter sim with a wonderful single-player story. While the first and second Bioshock games were set underwater, this time you go high into the sky, to the city among the clouds named Columbia. The year is 1912, and you have to rescue a mysterious girl or die trying. Well, knowing you, the latter option is more likely. Oh, come on, I'm kidding, you are great, never doubt that. Now subscribe. Anyway, the Flying City is a beautiful and vibrant world that holds a very dark secret. Here you can rip apart time and space to shape the battlefield and turn the tide in combat by pulling weapons, turrets and other resources out of thin air, throw explosive fireballs, shoot lightning and release murders of crows. Game has more than 90% of positive reviews and is a real gem every first-person shooter lover should play. Metro franchise. No list like that can be complete without the Metro games. The franchise is made by a Ukrainian-Maltese video game developer, so let's be fair, Ukrainians are really good at making these post-apocalyptic games. Here you will play as Artyom, a survivor of nuclear war, now along with your friends living in the Metro tunnels. And you and your friends are not alone here. Various creepy mutants and not very friendly dudes want you dead. Well, as always. You know, part of them wants to eat you, part of them wants to take your stuff, and there is a bot that wants to do both, and probably something else. So in order for you to not become a victim, the game provides an impressive arsenal of weapons, from simple pistols to rocket launchers and various things in between. These are first-person shooter games after all, although the one most similar to Fallout would be the Exodus, which you are seeing right now. Here you finally escape the metro tunnels and can search for death in an open plains brimming with various mutants and monsters. Very entertaining, that's for sure. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Subscribe.